How's it going, vaqueros, and welcome to another shotgun video. And today's video is kind of a cross between Warzone and Modern Warfare 3 because what I'm going to show you isn't necessarily just limited to one game mode. It kind of merges into both of them. So what I want to do first is give credit to this discovery to Elijah Mega. He's the one who let me know about this, and I had to test it out and find out for myself, and it's pretty awesome. So I wanted to show you guys what exactly is going on. So big shout out to you, Elijah Mega. This is really cool to see. And if you guys do find out any other quirky things about guns or anything like that, let me know down below in the comments because I absolutely love finding things like this. Even if they're not super practical, they're really cool and I love to talk about them. So let's just go ahead and hop into the Gunsmith and I'll show you what's up. So here we are in the Gunsmith for the Rivet, and I want to show you guys this particular laser attachment, the Canted Vibro.7. Now if you look at the advanced stats, there's nothing really special about it, and it doesn't say in the description either. There's nothing crazy about the spread. So whoop-de-doo, what's the big deal, right? Well, when we go into the firing range, and we're going to turn around here and we aim, well, first of all, you'll see this is just like how it was in Modern Warfare 2. There's no reticle or anything. There's literally just the laser to show you where you're aiming. But if you shoot at a wall, you'll notice that all of your pellets condense into one. So normally this thing has 4 pellets, which you can't really see. There you go. And when you aim down sights with this, all you get is 1. So it essentially doesn't turn into a slug, but rather it simulates a slug, and all of your pellets are condensed into 1. So you can see in that dummy over there about 20 meters away, you can still hit them with all your pellets doing maximum damage that you can. So it's a really interesting mechanic. I'm not sure if it's intentional or not, but it is kind of cool. I mean, the fact that you can turn it into sort of a pseudo slug will make your gun 10 times more consistent because there's no spread. As long as you hit your shot, it's gonna be consistent. So it's a really, really interesting design. Now, you can also do this on the Haymaker, which I believe I have it here. So if we go into the firing range with it, I believe it's still equipped with the laser. Yeah, so if I aim, shoot, you'll see 1 pellet, or well, 8 pellets condensed into 1. So I shoot at the dummies, bam. I don't think it has the same range, so you can't hit that one, but yeah, you can see it's doing essentially the same thing. Now, it is a little difficult to manage because some of these guns, these shotguns, have kind of a lot of visual recoil. Even though you can kind of see clearly what you're aiming at, there's a lot of smoke and it's just kind of very jumpy. So it's not impossible to control, obviously. It's a little awkward, especially if you're not used to this, like aiming with this sight, this laser. It's a little strange. I'm not gonna lie. It might be a little hard to track your opponents. And for me, I always end up kind of underswiping or not aiming fast enough for people who are moving. That's kind of my issue when I use it, but it does have quite a bit of consistency, which is very, very cool. Now, there are 2 other attachments that do something similar, which is the CQC scope and the Daunt C80 scope. Both of these things do exactly the same thing, and they are scoped, so it's kind of awkward, but if you shoot at a wall, let me see if I can shoot here. You'll see, bam, it does the same thing, condenses it into 1 pellet, which is really interesting. Again, it's very consistent. As long as you hit your shot, it's amazing. But of course, with this, why would you be rocking a scope? It's a shotgun. You're not using slugs either. You're literally just shooting max distance like 15 meters, so it's not worth it. So if you're going to use something that does this, just use this Canted Vibro.7. These, the Haymaker and the Riveter, these 2 shotguns are the only ones that I know of that have this ability with this particular laser. I think the laser exists on some other shotguns, but it doesn't have that same condensing into 1 pellet type of situation. So with these 2 shotguns, it's a pretty unique feature that you guys should definitely give a try. So overall, a pretty interesting mechanic. You can argue whether or not it's sort of viable. In most instances, I'd rather just have a normal shotgun with normal spread because it's a little more forgiving. But in this instance, if you can hit your shots, you're going to get consistency out the wazoo. I mean, it's insane how it condenses everything so tight that as long as you hit your shot, bam, full max damage. There's something to be said for that, and there is some utility for it, but to be honest, it was a little difficult for me to use. Of course, you have to get used to it. Maybe if I stuck with it, it'd be a lot better, but it is a little awkward to use, and you might have to put a recoil attachment or 2 on it since it does bounce quite a bit because of the way the sights are, or rather the lack thereof. So just something to keep in mind. But overall, I love this mechanic, super cool, and I wanted to share it with you guys because it is very interesting. And like I said, if you find anything like this at all, even if I've talked about it before, let me know in the comments because there's probably a lot of things like this that I've missed, and there's some things that you guys discovered. So if you do, let me know in the comments and I will try to credit you guys as often as I can. So with all that being said though, I want to know down below in the comments, what do you guys think about this mechanic? Do you think it's actually pretty useful? Do you think it's a little more gimmicky and not as viable? And with all that being said, guys, I will see you in the next video.